what we do here is go back.
Hello friends and welcome to my new video. Long time no see, but I'm back on YouTube finally. And you know, I still have a shitload of new records to show, and I was just thinking about which records I should show today, and I decided to go back to the 90s again. You all know that's the time I grew up in, and that's pretty much, one of my favorite decades in a way. And I have so many nice 90s records. I scored so many since my last update. So the next records are I bought over the last, I would say, 3 months, more or less. And I got various sources. I still have this huge private collection from which I can buy records from time to time. I bought some on eBay and Discogs, and also some in the record stores. And you know, it's funny. A few weeks ago I went to a record store and they had a great 90s section actually, a lot of originals, and I would say the prices were fair. Of course some were expensive, but if you compare them to Discogs they were cheap actually. And then I flipped through the bins and it was like, oh, I have this one, have this one, have this one, have this one. And then I was coming back home and I went to my IKEA shelf and took a look at my 90s collection, and I don't know how many records I have, but around, I don't know, 250 or 300 90s titles. And there are still a lot that I still need to get and that are high on my want list. But when we're talking about the big classics, I actually have all of them now. I hope you will enjoy this video. I will show my crate, because there are like this many records. Feel free to leave a comment if you love the 90s, or let me know which are your favorite titles, and I can't wait to start. Let's go! Alright, so here is my beloved crate from my old DJ days. I still kept it, and this crate I usually take with me when I go record shopping. So let's start. So here are all 90s titles that I bought in the last couple of months, actually 3 months more or less. Most of them are originals this time, all in near mint condition, because you know, condition is everything. And I also have some of my favorite albums that I had the reissue and then I replaced it with an original. So let's start with the first one. Of course, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, released in 1996. Classic album, Bulls on Parade, and various other big hits. And this was always a favorite of mine, and now I finally found it in great condition. I'm going to speed up a little bit because there are so many records. So this is a MoFi copy of the Blue Weezer album, released in 1994. And this was also on my want list for quite some time. Sonic Youth, also very important 90s title. This was released in 1992, and I mean, also classic album. I'm a big Sonic Youth fan, and this is more or less my favorite album together with this one. And of course this is Goo, released in 1990, also classic album. And I mean, it couldn't get any better. The cover art, of course. This is also a great find. Melvin's Prick, and this time I have to show it. This was a very nice surprise because it's on Amphetamine Reptile Records, of course, and this is a white label promo. This is a very rare item. I couldn't believe it because I didn't knew that it was a white label promo. But awesome. That's an awesome album. Same for the next one, Primus, Sailing the Sea of Cheese. Also released in 1991, a great year for music actually. Jerry was a race car driver, always reminded me of the good old Tony Hawk's Pro Skater days. So the next one is an original copy of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex and Magik. One of my favorite titles, also released in 1991. Beautiful original pressing in mint condition, and this was my reissue that I had for some years. And you know, the original pressing sounds, it's hard to say because the difference is just very little, but if I had to pick one, I think I would take the original. Jane's Addiction, another one of those 90s albums that I still missed, but it's also one of my favorites. I love the cover art, it's a great album, and I could finally get a good copy. The Breeders, Last Splash, music from the UK, very interesting indie album. I saw Chris from the VC show this one, and actually I never listened to it, so it was more or less a blind buy, but I love it. Yeah, the next one, this is the Smashing Pumpkins Gish, and I had this reissue for quite some years. I bought it when it first came out. Great sound. I still don't understand why they changed the cover art, because I managed to find an original copy, UK copy, and this one is on Hut Recordings. And if you compare them, I would say the sound of the reissue is even better than the original, but you know, the cover art is just better to my mind. And also released in 1991. What a great year. And the next one, Faith No More, Angel Dust. I have to say that I was a little disappointed by this one. It's an original pressing, also in fantastic shape, but I forgot that the song Easy isn't on the original pressing. It's just on the music on vinyl reissue. So I have to get the reissue at some point. It was a little disappointing, but I mean, it's still a fantastic album. You can see it right here, Rage Against the Machine. Two original pressings. One I found on the flea market years ago, but the cover is near mint, but the record is beat up more or less. It's just VG. So I found a near mint copy and I just had to get it, and this one's selling, yeah, expensive in these days. I had to pay 40 bucks for this one, but it was definitely worth it, because I mean, I have to be careful that I don't overplay this one, but yeah, the famous Monk cover, and I mean, that's one of the biggest 90s classics in a way. Soundgarden, Louder Than Love. I paid 20 bucks for this one. VG Plus condition, great early grunge album directly from Seattle. I still miss 2 or 3 albums by Soundgarden. I have all of the 90s ones, but yeah, I like the early stuff better actually. Nirvana. This was one of my first records that I ever bought actually. This Back to Black pressing. Yeah, I bought it years ago and I always liked it. But yeah, this original appeared and the cover is slightly different. It's more like a paper cover, and it has Nirvana on the top. And this also was fantastic find. I mean, and in this case, I have to say the original sounds a lot better than the reissue. Another MoFi copy, the Pixies, Trompe le Monde, also released in 1991. A fantastic album, so heavy, so powerful, and it really kicks ass. I love this one, and the MoFi copy sounds so good. I mean, I would love to get an original at some point, but yeah. Alright, let's come to some new metal. I mean, Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit, that was the stuff that I was listening to back in the day. I still have this on CD, and I managed to find a sealed European copy. This was brand new, but because it was sealed since the late 90s, the records are warped a little bit. The first one is playable, but the second one has a heavy warping. Maybe I can fix it, but I don't think so. But nevertheless, I mean, a fantastic album. I got this on eBay and still sealed, you know. The next one is also by Limp Bizkit, and of course it's Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Also one of my favorite titles. I had to pay €35 for this one. I bought this at a private collection. Had this on my want list, so I only miss the debut album and Results May Vary now. But this was also one of the records. I played this one to death actually. And same for the next one, also new metal. This is Slipknot, some heavy shit. I mean, seeing it from today's point of view, it's a little bit cheesy of course, but I bought this on Discogs in the US and I paid €23 with the shipping. And of course, I mean, you have tracks like Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, Spit It Out and various other ones. This still kicks ass. I really enjoyed listening to this because it brought back so many memories. Slipknot, yeah, very funny band in a way. The next one also came from the US and it's Incubus, Make Yourself. There were some rumors that it gets out of print. 2 LP set, of course it features the big hit Drive. And this is one of those late 90s albums that are very emotional in a way, and I love it. This one, Spanish record, big hit back in the day, Heroes del Silencio. I don't know how to pronounce the title, but of course the famous track is Entre Dos Tierras. Yeah, I love this song. I still would love to party to this one in the club, but great album, Spanish rock, and if you don't know it, you should really check this one out. Alright, some more unknown 90s jams. This is a band called Wormhole, Chicks Dig Scars. I bought this in a local record store for just €6.50. It was released in 1995 and it's I think an Irish or in Scottish alternative rock band. I listened to this one in the store because the cover looked interesting and it really kicks ass. Great album. I would love to get their other one. There is an EP I would like to get. Same for the next one, which is also a little unknown. And this one is called Lock Up, Something Bitching This Way Comes. And what really got my interest on this one, there is Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine playing on this one. So this is more or less a pre-Rage Against the Machine record. And it's also very powerful and you can hear the guitar work is so good actually. And also paid €6.50 for this one, I just had to get it. Another one of my big ones, this is Firehose, Flying the Flannel. Classic grungy 90s Seattle cover to my mind. Fantastic band. Unfortunately there is a little scratch on this one, so I have to replace it at some point. But nevertheless, great album. Same for the next one, which is I bought the entire Firehose catalog. This is Mr. Machinery Operator. It was released in 1993, that way. And also very interesting alternative rock, not that heavy, but yeah, I mean they were on SST before and awesome. Chris Isaak, also one of my favorite 90s guys. This is his album Heart-Shaped Word, and of course it features the big hit Wicked Game, which was made famous by David Lynch's movie Wild at Heart. I really wanted to get this one for ages actually. And then I found it for $20. Great album, and I also bought this greatest Wicked Game, greatest hits collection more or less, because there is an instrumental extended version of Wicked Game on this one, and I had to pay €12 for this one, also in mint condition. Great album. Now let's come to some electronic music of the 90s, hip hop, trip hop. This is Air, The Virgin Suicides, which was just reissued. Of course, it's the original motion score. Great movie by Sofia Ford Coppola. And this is also one of my favorites. I mean, Playground Love, Bathroom Girl. Amazing movie, amazing soundtrack. Air is one of my favorite bands. Moon Safari is an all-time classic. And I was happy to get it. I was happy that it was reissued. This was also a grail, I have to say. This is AIM, Cold Water Music. Fantastic trip-hop 90s album, and I also got this one from the Tony Hawk soundtrack. I paid 27 euro more or less for it. I bought it on eBay in the States, and if you don't know this album, please take a listen. It's such a good trip-hop record. Yeah, no words needed. Two of my favorite 90s electronic music were reissued, and of course I'm talking about Orbital. Hold on a second. That's the Green album by Orbital. And yeah, this is some classic UK techno, of course, early rave sounds. It features tracks like Belfast, Chime, and the Mobius. You put this record on and it really pumping bass, fantastic stuff. And I'm so happy that they are still releasing and reissuing all those good 90s titles. This is also the Orbital album, this is the Brown album. It features Helicon, On and On, Lush. And it's also a fantastic album. I mean, couldn't get any better. This was released in 1993. Fatboy Slim, also one of those 90s electronic guys that are just, yeah, fantastic. Better Living Through Chemistry, and this one features Everyone Needs a 303, and yeah, very, very interesting big beat techno album. Original pressing, of course. And I could get this for 10 bucks. I also have some cheesy stuff, you know, this is Madonna. It's already my second copy, but I don't know, maybe the pressing is damaged, but it's still so crackly in a way. But I listened to this one a lot when it came out. Actually, I'm a fan of Madonna at this period of her career. Great album. Yeah, and some more, I wouldn't say cheesy stuff, but that brings me back to my childhood, the soundtrack to the TV show The Wonder Years. I love to watch this show, and I found this at the record store for €5 and I couldn't leave it. It has all the big classics from the 60s like Joe Cocker, Buffalo Springfield, Indigo Girls, Debbie Gibson, Van Morrison, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and various other ones. I'm still waiting for the German release of the DVD. But such a great show. And last but not least, some cheesy stuff, but I'm okay with that. This is Mariah Carey, her album from 1990. Oh, look at her. And it's very interesting because this is a South Korean pressing. I bought this in the record store in the Netherlands for €8.99, and I just had to get it. Well friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe. I will be back soon with some jazz and also some Vertigo swirl, and I got a really funny story about a pretty good deal I made. And yeah, have a great Sunday. See you next time. Bye bye.